Hello, welcome to this episode of Low Carb in the Leaves with me, Dr. Mary Barson. I'm on day 2 of my isolation with the cold as I await my COVID tests today, but I am feeling a lot better today. And it's a pretty cool technology-filled world where I can still, even though I'm isolating at home, do these lives and talk to all of you fabulous humans. So, this week we're going to talk about just sort of bust through some popular food myths. And today I thought I would start with plants. And it's interesting. I think if you asked me a few years ago, I never thought I would have to come in defence of plant foods in our diet because they seem to be the one that always gets a free pass. Eat your vegetables. Or indeed, the message has always been, eat your fruit and vegetables. But I am with clients and patients at the moment, as the carnivore diet increases in popularity and profile, I do have people come into me wondering if they should be eating plants at all. I find it really interesting. Certainly my intention here is if you're on a carnivore diet and it's really, really working for you, my intention is not to rubbish that. Really not at all. We humans are incredibly adaptable. We have an ability to eat a wide range of foods and to thrive on a wide range of foods. But today I just want to provide some general information, do a little bit of myth busting perhaps, because certain members of the carnivore community are getting quite vocal and coming out and saying that all plant foods are toxic. And that really is an oversimplification to the point of being wrong. In the same way that people say weight loss is all about calories, that is an oversimplification to the point of being wrong. The truth, as always, is much more nuanced. And when patients ask me, are plants toxic? My standard answer is, well, it depends. And largely no. I'd say from an ancestral point of view, plants have been a part of our diet for millennia. All of the archaeological evidence suggests that we ate plants as humans evolved in the African savannah, and certainly our extant archaeological evidence looking at surviving hunter-gatherer groups around the world today, they eat plants. Even the Inuits, who are often depicted as a purely meat-eating culture, they largely ate meat and animal products, it's true, but they did also eat plants when they were available in the form of lichen and berries and sometimes even sea vegetables. So we are an omnivorous species generally. And so there's this idea that plants are toxic is being thrown around at the moment. And indeed, plants do contain toxins. They do. If you can think about it from the point of view of these plants growing wildly, let's go back to the African savannah where humans were evolving thousands of years ago. There were lots of plants around that were edible, but most of them didn't particularly want to be eaten. They wanted to live their lives and propagate and make baby plants. And being eaten by a roving horde of humans wasn't high on their agenda. Unless, of course, we're talking about fruit, in which case a roving horde of humans might grab their fruit and propagate their seeds. That's different. Plants want their fruit to be eaten, but they don't generally want their leaves to be eaten or the rest of the plant. So plants over the years have been in this evolutionary arms race with the animals that want to eat them. And one way in which they defend themselves is through this sort of chemical warfare. And they make phytochemicals, which is just a fancy word for plant chemicals. And it is true that many of these phytochemicals are slightly toxic to us. That is the truth. That's their whole point, is the plant is trying to protect itself. However, it is an evolutionary arms race, and just as plants have made toxins to make them harder for animals to eat. Animals, including us humans, have created ways to deal with those toxins and actually even kind of depend on them. Indeed, pretty much all of our medicines, at least a large portion of our medicines, are derived from these plant toxins to begin with. So they exert really powerful effects on our body, and they can be and usually are powerfully beneficial. One thing that phytochemicals do to us is they induce this process of hormesis. In this case, xenohormesis, because it's coming from outside our bodies, it's from something we eat. I mentioned quickly yesterday that hormesis is a biologically beneficial process that goes along in our bodies when it is exposed to low-grade stress or mild toxins. And the most easily sort of accessible form of hormesis to understand is exercise. Exercise is a form of hormesis. You, like I said, you imagine you're sort of doing push-ups and you're really, really working the muscles of your upper arm and your back. You are damaging them. You are stressing them out as you practice those push-ups. And then as a result of that slight damage and that stress, they grow back stronger. That is hormesis. We also get hormetic effects from cold exposure. It's actually good for us to get a little bit cold sometimes, not to the point of frostbite, but a little bit of cold is actually really good for our health and longevity. And plants do much the same thing. The slight toxins in plants are actually hormetic and can benefit our health. One of the best studied phytochemicals would be sulforaphanes. Possibly my favourite, mostly I think because I just like saying sulforaphane. So sulforaphane. Hey, beautiful girl, I'm just doing a live, my heart. I'll be with you soon. Thank you. Sulforaphanes are in large quantities in your cruciferous veggies like broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cabbage, and they actually help detoxify our body. They stress our liver out a little bit, and one of the things that they actually do then is actually enhance our liver toxification. But just giving it a little bit of a push, they really enhance it. So people say that all cruciferous veggies are just descended from the mustard weed and we shouldn't eat them. Well, everybody is different, but by and large, those plant chemicals, the phytochemicals in cruciferous veggies actually do us good. They actually change our cells. They change the gene expression in our cells in a net positive way. So I think that on balance, if you are on the fence about whether or not you should eat broccoli, or if you're worried that broccoli is incredibly toxic for you, I would say eat the broccoli. Unless, of course, you're someone who can't tolerate it for some reason. By and large, broccoli is good for you, especially if you just lightly steam it. Then, you keep a lot of those phytochemicals intact. Really, really good for you. But, that sulforaphanes are by no means the star phytochemicals. There are lots. There's allicin, which is in garlic and onions and leeks. And you know that when you damage the onion or the garlic and it releases that stuff that makes your eyes sort of water. Well, that is the plant's defense. The onion bulb doesn't want to be eaten. So when an animal bites into it, it's like, yucky, no, don't want that. But actually that allicin has really potent antimicrobial effects, and it can be really, really good for us. Anthocyanins are an interesting one. That's another phytochemical that we get from blueberries and blackberries and really darkly purple veggies like purple cabbage, and it's got really powerful antioxidant effects that it exerts on our bodies. Apigenin is another phytochemical that has some blood sugar stabilizing effects. Caffeine is one of the world's most famous phytochemicals, and it's not good for everybody, for sure, but caffeine has lots of neuroprotective effects, and a lot of us really love what the phytochemical caffeine does to us in the morning. There's also curcumin, which is a phytochemical found in the really orange turmeric root that has profoundly potent anti-inflammatory effects. So I mean, I could go on, and it would probably be boring if I did. So I will stop now. I am going to stop talking about all the different phytochemicals that you can eat. I made some notes. You can see I'm reading my notes at the moment. But yeah, so phytochemicals are slightly toxic. We evolved to cope with them. We humans, with our ingenuity, have turned many phytochemicals into our most potent medications. And when we eat them, they exert beneficial effects on our bodies. And part of the reason that they exert these beneficial effects is because they are ever so slightly toxic. It's like exercise for your metabolism and digestion. And there are many other benefits to eating plants, like the feeding your gut and feeding your gut bacteria and lots of others. But I think I will leave it there. So phytochemicals are your friends. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you later. Bye.